or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we didn't kill him, though. We didn't say you killed him. We said that you regularly harassed Mr. Quiles. That's what we said.
Alright, you kids get to bed. I get the storyboard.
There is a place in the state of Georgia where no criminal ever wants to go. That place is called Alto State Prison, formerly Lee Arrendale in Alto, Georgia. If you come here, you surely won't make it out.
Stay tuned for Tales from the Toe.
Thug Kingdom. YSL takes over Alto Prison. In the heart of the city of Atlanta, where the rhythms of the streets pulse with the beat of the city, infamous rapper Young Thug found himself at the center of a wild storm, a storm of controversy, power, and influence that threatened to consume everything in its path. Being only 2 years old when Tupac, the rapper who popularized the word thug, shot 2 policemen in the streets of the A, it seemed as if Thugger, as his fan base referred to him, was headed to a 6x 9-inch cell just like the iconic Shakur did back in the mid-90s. Facing life in prison amidst a state RICO case, Young Thug's fate hung in the balance, his future teetering on the edge of uncertainty, especially so since several of his closest friends, like fellow rapper Gunna, basically snitched on the Pick Up the Phone singer, confirming that his so-called record label was actually a full-fledged criminal enterprise. In the beginning of Thug's downfall, all the prosecutor wanted to know was if YSL was a gang. The judge ordered no bond or bail for the wiry rapper, so he remained imprisoned on Rice Street. Yet even behind the cold, filthy cells in Fulton County Jail, his influence knew no bounds. With a charisma that commanded respect and a presence that cast a shadow over the entire prison population, Young Thug wielded power like a weapon. His YSL gang cohorts dancing to the rhythm of his every command, which in turn moved non-affiliates to follow suit to the point where Thugger had more than a dozen jail administrators and inmates under his beck and call, smuggling anything he desired into the jail, from Waffle House breakfast to pockets full of perkies and the loudest weed this side of the Mississippi River. But as whispers of his influence spread like wildfire through the corridors of the grimy jail, the city authorities knew they had to act.
There may be rumors of me breaking up with Travis, but who cares about that? Right now, y'all need to smash the like button and subscribe button for my favorite YouTuber, GK David II. His stories are so crazy. We all know they're not real, but still the best shit on YouTube. They're like mini movies.
With tension simmering and the threat of a jail revolt looming large, they made a decision that would change the course of Young Thug's fate and the fate of an entire community. City officials decided to relocate the rapper's case to Alto, Georgia, and house him in the notorious Alto State Prison, which they hoped would contain the wildfire of his influence to quell the storm before it engulfed them all. But they underestimated the power of a man driven by ambition and the loyalty of those who followed him. As Young Thug stepped off the Rusty Bluebird prison bus and into Alto State Prison, he knew he was entering enemy territory, a world where alliances were forged in blood and loyalty was a currency more precious than gold. Yet with the weight of the city on his shoulders and the eyes of his followers watching his every move, Young Thug refused to back down. With a swagger that defied the odds and a confidence that bordered on arrogance, he set out to conquer the uncharted territory that lay before him. As minutes turned into hours and the hours into days, tensions simmered beneath the surface, a powder keg waiting to explode. And when the first spark ignited, it set off a chain reaction that would engulf Alto Prison in a war unlike anything it had ever seen. Inmates from the city of Atlanta were all loyal to the government that Thugger established from day one. Thanks to him, these nobodies now had weed to smoke and free world food to eat due to the rapper's connections with prison guards. The only problem was that a majority of the prison population consisted of inmates outside of Atlanta, from places like Albany, Georgia, Savannah, Athens, Augusta, Columbus, Macon, and the list goes on. The big city Atlanta boys called these inmates the farmers due to their towns being small and country in comparison. These country inmates from smaller Georgia towns let their differences boil over into violence and chaos. So one day when one of Thugger's generals was sitting in the dorm day room dining on a smuggled in steak dinner, one of the small town inmates to start verbally berating the Atlantan for acting better than everyone else. This exchange led to one of the biggest fights in Alto history as all of Young Thug's soldiers started battling with any farmer in their reach. Amidst the chaos and bloodshed, Young Thug stood like a king, his throne built on the backs of those who followed him. Yet as the smoke cleared and the echoes of the battle faded into the night, he realized the true cost of his ambition, the lives lost, the families torn apart, the dreams shattered like glass. And as he looked out over the calamity in his kingdom, Young Thug knew that the price of power was far greater than he could have ever imagined. Several of his soldiers had already eliminated a huge percentage of the threat before the SWAT-style CERT team ascended on the cell block, pepper spraying everything in sight as the special prison officers easily gained control of the mini riot. Thug's kingdom prevailed that day as only a handful of the Atlanta boys were removed from earth versus over 40 of the country boys who were slaughtered by real weapons brought into the prison by crooked guards who were paid well by Young Thug's people on the streets. In the end, though, Thugger lost the war because he was eventually convicted of the crimes he was charged with and given life without parole in the Georgia Department of Corrections. A few months later, the Atlanta kingpin was transferred to Smith State Prison, where an unsuspecting female corrections officer found the rapper's lifeless body in his one-man cell, shoelaces from his prison-issued sneakers tied around his neck as his tongue stuck out in permanency. Days later, several hip-hop news entities published accounts that the once-millionaire rapper had run out of money due to exhausting his finances trying to beat his RICO case and paying corrupt guards off, his net worth, at the time of death being only $391.38. To any young person out there listening, if this example of how not to go out doesn't wake you up, then nothing will. May God be with you all.
Judge Judy has taken over the YSL RICO case. Will the YSL leader, Jeffrey Williams, receive mercy or the hammer?
Defendant Williams, I am taking over your RICO case. After reviewing your case, it appears as if you're nothing but a street bum. Therefore, I'm going to get your longtime girlfriend here to rat you out just like your buddy Mr. Kitchens did. Witness Becky, I want you to sign this statement saying you saw Mr. Williams commit these crimes.
It's not legal. It's not notarized.
Yes, it is. What do you mean it's not legal? You telling me what's legal or not? Young lady, are you telling me what's legal?
Nope, I wouldn't know.
No. Now.
This isn't fair.
Sign it. I'm going to give you 3. Then I'm going to take it. I'm going to sign it for you. 1, 2, sign it. Mind, you're a big girl. You're 18 years old. Don't look at me with this look of incredulity on your face. Sign it.
Oh my gosh.